الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله استغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وبعد. Words have consequences, and that's something we all acknowledge. If you're discussing something with someone and you say something offensive, immediately you can see the effects of those words on the person's physical body. And this goes throughout the board, regardless of the person you're speaking to. When you say something, it has real life consequences. In a hadith in Jami' al-Tirmidhi, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam explains that a time will come where things are so sensitive that the words of the tongue will be sharper than the blade of a sword, because words have consequences. Now, when we think about this in light of the du'as that we recite, to a greater extent, our words have consequences. When I remember Allah before I do something, Allah descends upon me a particular protective layer. Allah descends His barakah, Allah descends His blessings. And we should have firm yaqeen and conviction that this is true. So I know when I eat food and I remember Allah, there's more barakah, there's more blessing. When I do something and I remember Allah, Allah is protecting me. Once a particular scholar used to work for the Khalifa. And that Khalifa had an alim, a scholar who worked for him, but he also had a doctor, a physician who used to come and attend to him. So the Khalifa became very sick, and the scholar comes beside him and he starts to recite Surah Al-Fatiha. He recites Ayatul Kursi and he begins reading the du'as, and he makes du'a for this individual. The physician that was beside him didn't really believe in Allah. And he said to him, look, I have all the antidotes and remedies in my hand. I have all the remedies and antidotes in my hand, and I am treating him. How do you think your few words will change his temperament and make him better? They're just words. So this scholar, he was smart. He stops what he's doing, he speaks to the doctor, and he says to the physician, who wasn't a Muslim, and he says to him that, look, let me ask you something. He says, yeah. He's like, do you think words have consequences? And he says, they don't have any real life consequences. So the scholar, what he does is he begins to slander this person's mother in front of him. He starts talking about his mother in a very negative way. And he starts talking about him in a very negative way. And the person starts to get angry, upset. His face turns red, his veins begin to bulge. He starts to tremble and he's getting very angry and he starts screaming very loud. And the scholar, he addresses the physician and he says, listen, my apologies, I didn't mean to do that. But I said one thing and your whole physical state changed. You're screaming, you're yelling, you're turning red, you're shaking by my words. And these words were inappropriate words. Do you not think if I take the name of Allah that somehow it will not have a physical effect? For sure these words will cure and bring about a change in the life of the individual, the Khalifa that we're working with. So it's very important for us to be aware that when I'm driving my car and I recite Subhanalladhi sakhara lana hadha wa ma kunna lahu muqrinin wa inna ila rabbina lamunqalibun, for instance, or when I'm entering inside of my house, I say Bismillahi walajna wa Bismillahi kharajna. When I'm about to eat, what do I say? Bismillahi wa barakatillah. When I'm going into the bathroom, when I say these things, Allah is protecting me. Allah is sending His blessings. I'm going to end with one particular incident. When Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he was talking to the Sahaba, he said to them that when you enter your home and you say Bismillah, and when you eat, you say Bismillah, the shaitan says to all of his cronies, all of his shayateen, his minions, he says to them, لا مبيت لكم اليوم ولا عشاء لكم. He says, today you have nowhere to stay and you have no food. Because Allah is protecting this house, Allah is protecting this food. So let us build this habit of remembering Allah, reciting the dua, and being habitual and practicing on this. Because when we're in the moment and you're very hungry, we forget. And when we're very tired and we need to go home, we forget. But these very small changes brings the blessings and the rahmah of Allah. We ask Allah to shower us in His mercy, to protect us, and to enable and inspire us to remember Him at every given moment. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.